And it could be from you could get edema from a number of things. It could be decreased kidney function or kidney failure, issues with the liver, problems with veins and your blood vessels, and right-sided heart failure. And I wanted to do some education today just to show how serious edema can be, because we hear, oh, this guy just had fluid in his legs and Jesus healed him, but edema can be pretty serious. So this is the heart. This is a picture of the heart, and you can have edema from right-sided heart failure. So I was going to go through how the blood flows through the heart, and then what happens when you get edema from it. So the heart is broken up into 4 chambers, and that is the right atrium, the right ventricle, left atrium, and left ventricle. And the way the blood flows through the heart is deoxygenated blood comes through the top, the superior vena cava, into the right atrium. Then blood pushes through the tricuspid valve into the right ventricle, back up into the lungs, and then blood gets oxygenated in the lungs. And then it comes down through the pulmonary veins into the left atrium, back through the left ventricle, and that goes through the body and brings oxygenated blood throughout the body. And it's just amazing how God created the body to do these things. So when someone has edema due to right-sided heart failure, something went wrong along this process. Either the left side of the heart isn't working, or the valves aren't working correctly. Something is wrong with the cardiac muscle, or someone could have hypertension, and just a lot of things can happen. So this blood gets stuck in the body, and it causes the vessels to become really leaky. And from that, you get lots of fluid in your tissues. So this man that had dropsy, he had edema, and this could have stopped him from having the ability to walk. It could have caused him a lot of pain. It could have caused swelling in his skin and made it so stretched and shiny. So you kind of get an idea of what this man was going through when Jesus saw him. And edema can be very serious. I work nights at UNM in the general surgical unit on 4 West, and we get a little bit of everything from gunshot wounds to people who are in car crashes, altered mental status. We get falls, and the list goes on. And when I chart on a patient, there's a specific area on my charting just for edema because it can be that serious. And many times these people are in a lot of pain. This week, I had a patient who was in a car crash, and after she got in a car crash, the car caught on fire. And she just had burns on her whole right side of her body. She broke her collarbone. She dislocated her hip. She was in one of those seat collars. They wired her mouth shut because she had broken her nose and her face. And she was just in a lot of pain. So I was giving her pain medication every hour on the hour. And, you can only imagine how much pain she was in. And when Jesus sees all of these people that he healed, they were obviously in a lot of pain. In Desire of Ages, Ellen White says in the chapter, Bethesda and the Sanhedrin, he saw the wretched sufferers watching for that which they supposed to be their only chance of cure. He longed to exercise his healing power and make every sufferer whole. So Jesus wanted to heal every person he could. And when he saw this man with edema, it was the same thing. Now, the second part of these verses is healing on the Sabbath. And Jesus asked the question here, is it lawful to heal on the Sabbath? And the answer is obviously yes. If we have a chance to ease pain and suffering for another person, we should do it. Our goal as Christians is to reflect Christ. And if we are helping someone on the Sabbath, through you, they may meet Christ for the first time. William Thomas said, "Be careful how you live, because you may be the only Bible some people will ever read." Today the world is hurting. Most of my friends were on antidepressants and anti-anxiolytics because everyone has depression and anxiety today. Um, People are committing suicide or attempting to do so. The awful things we hear in Israel that are happening right now. But if we have an opportunity to ease suffering where we are, we should do so. And often God will put those opportunities right in front of us, and we just have to pray every day to see those opportunities and maybe ease someone's pain the same way Jesus did when he healed this man on the Sabbath. And what better day to do that than on the Sabbath? So with that, we'll break for our classes, and we'll give the 5-minute warning.